Yo, what's up with y'all, man? How y'all doing today? Today we got a story time. Now, this isn't my personal story time. This is my friend's story time. Um, I'm gonna leave his. I'm gonna post the snap code right here, and I'm gonna leave it in the description as well. And I'm gonna leave the link to the instrumental I use here as well. And without further ado, let's get straight into the story. I'm gonna cut it out, and I'm gonna cut out have his audio in, and yeah.
Alright guys, so I'm here on this nigga Breon channel to bring you guys a banger. So this is the time I got caught in school tripping off acid, and my friend was sent to the ER and I got caught. Before we get this story started, I need to tell you guys some stuff prior. So we originally planned to do this on I'm pretty sure this happened on a Monday, and we planned this on a Saturday, and I gave my friend the bread for the tabs because I was upstate at this time. So let's just skip the third period because that's when my friend came in, and he came in late as fuck. But when he came in, I could just tell something was up because his eyes were wide open. He was just looking at everything, like the scenery was different, like he hasn't already been in gym class for like the 80th time already. So anyways, I'm like, yo bro, what's good, you got my shit? He's like, yeah, I got it, bro. He was like, guess what? I was like, what, bro? He was like, bro, I'm off the SID right now. And I was like, oh, word? Do you want me to pop mines too right now? And he was like, yeah, bro. And I was like, fuck it, why not? Cause I already tried 3 times, so I already thought like I was experienced. So I was like, what can go wrong? And we're just doing our laps. We're just walking, and then he passes it to me. I'm literally opening this tinfoil in the middle of class, middle of gym class, and then I just put it on my tongue. And yeah, we're just doing our laps, and then eventually got free time. And then for the rest of the period, we just got to play basketball. So then we go to lunch, and then at lunch we meet up with my other friend Matthew. He's the one who also wanted the tab, and this is also his first time. So we give him his tab, and then after this we part ways. He goes with his friend group, and me and Jake, we go to the 3rd floor. And I was trapping, so I just went to go serve my custies. And yeah, I sell out, so then I'm just like, yeah, let's just chill. And I'm just chilling with all the bros in the staircase. And then James is like, yo, Muhammad has a cart. And I'm like, bro, call Muhammad. As you can see from the video that Brian's gonna play.
Man, tripping off
Yo,
the Sid.
call Muhammad.
Tripping off the Sid. The Sid, bro. He off the Sid.
And I give him my phone. He hits up Muhammad. And this nigga Muhammad pulls up mad late. By the time he pulls up, it was already like almost like 3 minutes left to like lunch. So he just passes it to me. He's like, take your hits quick. And I have iron lungs, but I think this was the tab, but the cart made me cough in like 3 seconds, like a 3-second pull. I was already coughing, and I was like zooted, like my come up just went skyrocketing. And I'm just walking up these flights of stairs, and our school is on the 7th. Like, we have 2 floors to ourselves, so we have the 6th and 7th, but my class was on the 7th. And I'm walking up to the 7th floor, and when I get there, I'm back on the 6th floor. And then I walk out the flight again, and then I'm back at the 6th floor again. And then I turn around and I look, and now I'm on the 7th. And I'm like, wait, what? And then so I just walk to IT, and I'm like, okay, so that's weird. And when I get to IT class, this is me and Matthew had this class together, but today was a chill class because the teacher, he was like, yeah, we're just gonna rework on some assignments that you missed. And basically whenever that happens, he just sits in his desk, watches YouTube, and eats a salad for the whole period. So I'm just sitting here on the computer just playing video games, and I see Matthew. He's just walking back and forth, pacing back and forth in the back of the classroom. I'm over here like whisper yelling like, yo bro, what are you doing? Sit down. And then he comes to me and he sits down next to me and he squeezes my hand as tightly as he can. I kid you not. He looks me in the eye and he says, yo bro, I don't want this anymore. Please bro, make this feeling stop. And I'm like, yo bro, you just have to accept the tab. And from that being said, this nigga just walks away and he walks out of the classroom to never be seen again. And I'm just sitting there. I just forgot about him because he was low-key making my trip bad. So I was like, in my mind, I was like, yo, can this nigga just leave? And I just continue just playing my game, and then class ends. And I pick up my backpack and I legit teleport into the middle of the hallway, in the middle of a sea of kids just waiting for me. They're like, yo, Nico, get to your next class, you're holding up the line. And I'm like, oh shit. And then I get into social studies, and I thought this was a safe period. I was like, alright, we made it, we're golden. Because social studies was a double period. And I get in, teacher's like, take out your homework. I pull it out my backpack and put it on the table. And then I put my head down, I lift it back up, and then that shit is gone again. So then I go in my backpack, I pull it back out again and put it on the table, and then that shit is gone again. Then I lift my head back up, and then it's there. And I'm like, wait, what? And I'm just here tripping out in the middle of class. Everybody's looking at me. Well, not everybody, but all my friends, the people on my table is looking at me like, yo, you good? And I'm like, yeah, bro, I'm good. And one of my friends that I sold an edible to, he had ate it previously. It was a punch bar, so it was pretty good. But he's just sitting there, and he's one of those kids who's like, when he's clapped, he just goes on mute. I'm trying to talk to him, and he's not speaking a word to me. And I don't know why, but they just started making my trip go bad. So I'm just like, you know what, fuck you. And I put my head down trying to go to sleep. But obviously, that shit did not work. I'm over here fucking tripping in my sleep. Like, it's like I had my eyes open while I was sleeping. I don't even know, but it was weird. But it felt like time was going by OD fast. Then eventually the principal comes in. She's like, oh, Nico, get your bags and stuff. I'm going to my office. I was like, okay. And then everybody's like, oh, like they give me the look like I did something. And I was like, I'm not even stressing it. And then she's like, what period you have first? And I'm like, D period. She's like, what period you have last? And I'm like, D period. Because at this point, I kid you not, I could not think of anything but the letter D. No homo. So we just walk into her office, and she sits me down and she hands me a laptop, and there's other students there too. She gives me like a code and stuff, so I'm like, oh yeah, I missed my DRP. Like a couple, like Friday, I didn't finish my DRP, so this is probably what she's calling me here for, to finish it. And I'm over here taking it. I'm in the middle of the DRP. Then the guidance counselor comes here and she's like, oh, Nico, get your stuff. We're going to my office. And I'm like, oh. So then we walk to the 6th floor, and she's like, oh, Nico, how's your day going? And I'm like, it's good. Then we get into her office. She's just making small talk. Then immediately she's like, all right, let's cut to the chase. I know you gave Matthew the acid. And I'm like, nah, what do you mean? And she's like, don't play dumb with me, Nico. I know you gave it to him. And then this is going on and on. She's just keep on saying I gave it to him. I'm like, no, I didn't. She's like, well, Nico, you're not leaving this room until I get the answer that I want. And I'm like, well, I don't even know what to tell you then. So I just put my head down, and she's just on her computer doing whatever. I guess she's just looking for she's like bringing up like my profile or my student profile, whatever, like how much classes I missed and shit like that, and like my student record. And I'm just there with my head down, and I'm just on my phone just deleting apps that I think might incriminate me. So I just delete Instagram because I'm like, well, that's the only app I really use to text about this shit. So I delete that shit, and then she's just over here talking to me, asking me OD questions, and she's like, if it wasn't you who gave it to him, then who was it? Like, who do you think gave it to him? And I'm like, well, I have no idea. And then she was like, well, that's crazy because Matthew said it was you who gave it to him. And I was like, I'm just there, and I just go silent. I don't even know what to say at this point. And then the principal just comes in, and she's like, give me your phone. So, I mean, I'm tripping at this point. I'm tripping hard. Like, I'm peaking. And I'm just in my mind. Like, to be honest, I'm not even fully conscious. I'm just thinking to myself, no way this could be happening. Like, this gotta be fake. I'm thinking this is like one of those illusions or some shit. And I hand her my phone, and I'm thinking, like, well, you're not gonna find anything. Realizing that in my phone I have OD pictures and OD videos of me smoking, and I have like pictures of large quantities of fucking weed. So she's looking at that shit, and she's just looking back at me like I'm a fucking crackhead. And then she's like, where's Instagram? And I'm like, I don't use Instagram. And then she goes to my app store, and like it has like the cloud shit, and she reinstalls it. And I had like my Instagram set up to where, like, like if you delete it, it just resaves everything. So I already have my Gmail and password in. So she just logged in quickly, and the chat was literally right there. It was like a whole group chat, and she's just scrolling through the whole group chat, just seeing. She's like, when did you take the teacher's credit card? And I'm just there like, what do you mean? And then she's like, right here. It says you got the English teacher credit card. And I'm like, nah, we were just kidding. It was a prank. And she didn't believe that, but I mean, we didn't have anything on us, so she couldn't really say anything. But anyway, she sees the chat where we was talking about, planning the trip in school. So she was like, oh, this was a plan thing. And I'm like, I just go silent. I'm not talking anymore. I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. You already found everything out. So at this point, I'm like, fuck it. And she just goes on. And then she just calls my auntie. She's like, well, I can't let you leave by yourself. Your auntie's going to have to pick you up. She's like, do you want me to tell her? Or are you going to tell her? And I was like, yeah, you tell her. And then she comes driving to the school. And she picks me up, but the teachers are over here escorting me out, making such a big deal. And they walk me to the car, give her my phone. She's just there looking at me with the meanest look ever. So then I had to just spend this whole 1 hour and 30-minute car ride to my crib in silence with no music or anything. And when I get home, she gives me my phone just so I can talk to my dad. And I'm over here just talking to my dad. He's like, do you just want to stay on the phone with me so you can just text your friends? And I'm like, yes, please. So I'm just on the phone with my dad for like 30 minutes, just deleting messages and shit. Just deleting all of that. And then I give her my phone. She takes all of my electronics, but my laptop. And like the smart man I am, I downloaded Snapchat on my laptop. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of the story. I mean, I just didn't have really any games for a month, and yeah, the school was pretty much just on my dick. Just like I couldn't even go to the bathroom without the teacher questioning me. Like they let the whole, like every single staff teacher knew about this situation, and I'm just there like, damn, bro, really? Like I can't even go to the bathroom and hit my cart in peace. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this story. Make sure you like the video, and I'm pretty sure my son Breon's about to tune in.